Thank you so much for coming out here today. As we remember and honor Darth
Like that. Kind of like that.
That's good. As we remember and honor a dear friend, a great colleague, and an incredible member of our community in Jake Arcara. As we all know, I remember frame by frame, I've said this a million times, the tragedy that occurred on September 14th, 2022, right on London Road here in Yorktown. And since then, with the courage and the fortitude of Kelly Arcara, who we're joined with today, Jake's mom, we have taken a tragedy and we're trying to turn it into something positive. And so today, joined by a number of partners in local and state government, I want to recognize State Senator Pete Harcum, Yorktown Supervisor Ed Lachterman. We have our Highway Superintendent Dave Paganelli. I do want to also recognize we have several highway departments here, which really shows just the unity from across the region. But I know that we have Nick DeVito from the town of Somers, Mike Stern from the town of Carmel, and I believe John Winters from the town of Lewisboro. So thank you all for joining us, and the entire workforce here in the town of Yorktown. I think you see the close-knit community. It's something that right now I can tell you I miss tremendously, not working here, but you see just how much we all mean to each other by everyone coming here to pay tribute to Jake. I want to recognize the rest of the Yorktown Town Board. We also have with us Diana Quast, our town clerk. I see Lonnie Gilbert, former town supervisor, town councilman, and town councilman-elect again. Lonnie, great to see you as well. Susan Siegel, town councilwoman, is here, and I thought I saw Sergio Esposito. We are also joined by many members of the CSEA, who we're going to hear from shortly. But again, this is about Jake. That's what today's about. Remembering our great friend, but also, I think, trying to turn this into an awareness campaign. Because, and many of you, I've stood with you in work zones before. And these are very dangerous situations. And people really need to respect our workers. And they need to make sure that all of our workers come home every day. And unfortunately, we've lived through the worst of that here in Yorktown. But together, we've rallied together to support the Arcara family, to support Kelly, to support Mitch, who's here as well. Thank you for being here. And also to support our workforce. But the facts still are troubling. In 2024, there were 322 work zone intrusions just for New York State DOT work zones alone. And I know we have some New York State DOT workers here today. In 2024, that resulted in the death of 2 drivers, and that also resulted in 138 injuries. And since 1939, there have been 58 members of the New York State Department of Transportation who have died on the job. And the fact that we don't have those numbers also for our local workforce is troubling, and something that Senator Harcum and I have been working on through legislation to address. And so today we are here to pay tribute and remember Jake, but also, as I said, make sure that this is a reminder to every motorist on the road that every worker's life matters. Every single person, whether you're a highway worker with our DPWs, whether you're at the water department, whether you're a sanitation worker, every single one of you deserves the respect on the road for just doing your job. And you all need to come home every day. And so we are hopeful that this dedication not only honors and remembers our great friend Jake, but I think as he would want, it's part of a larger message and a larger reminder to everyone on the road to respect our workers. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my partner in government, a great friend to Yorktown, State Senator Pete Harcum. Senator, thanks for all you've done here.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Matt. I want to thank Assembly Member Slater for his leadership and his partnership on bringing us here today with the legislation to name this section of the state route. Obviously, we want to thank Kelly being the driving force, and Dave and Ed and so many of you. You know, it's really a testament to Jake that all these people are here today, including Gunner. You know, they love Jake. They love Jake, and he touched all of their lives. And so you continue to touch their lives with your work. And, you know, getting the legislation to commemorate a section of highway, that's the easy part. You know, unfortunately, Kelly, you paid the sacrifice why we're here today. And it's now Kelly's life work to do exactly what Matt was talking about, is ensuring that people come home safe. We now have work zone camera law in New York State, and between DOT and New York State Thruway last year, there are well over 100,000 violations. Well over 100,000 violations. And that means people are not getting the message. And so when we see a section of state road with Jake's name on it, obviously the first thing we want people to remember is his smile, his love, his generous spirit. But then we want people to remember the tragedy, and remember Kelly's mission is that people have to slow down. People have to stop being idiots on the road and stop being selfish. That maybe it'll take you 2 minutes to get there longer, but people's lives are at stake. Assemblyman Slater gave you the statistics. They are stark. And so this is what Kelly has made her life's work, and we will continue at the local level and the state level to endeavor to make our roads safer so all of you get home to your families each and every night. And I think you have a presentation you want to make to Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we have Kelly say a few words, Senator Harcum and I are going to present her with a signed pen certificate. This is the law signed by Governor Hochul, who we thank for signing this legislation, renaming this stretch of road in honor and memory of Jake Arcara. Kelly, thank you so much for giving him to us. Thank you so much for sharing him with our community. But thank you for your incredible leadership to make sure that we continue to raise awareness about work zone safeties all across New York State. I know that that's something that you're not going to give up on, and we look forward to working with you further on that. And with that, let's give everyone Kelly a big round of applause.
Turn around and take a quick photo.
Want to say a few words, Scott?
I would like to thank Assemblyman Slater, Senator Harcum, and Governor Hochul, and all of you that are attending today at this dedication honoring my son, Jake. My son was killed while working on a side road, not on a highway. This goes to show we need better safety zones in all work zones. Highway work is dangerous. And yeah, this is what he signed up for, along with every person that works on our roads. However, we need to think twice, entering a work zone, and be aware and slow down. There's a human life at risk. Driving in a work zone has its consequences. Not only was my son killed, the person that killed him died the night of my son's wake. 14. 14 was the number of Jake's truck. 14 is my birth date. I thought this was a sign that his mom's birth date would keep him safe and I would be looking over him. 14 was the day my son was killed and never returned home. So every time you see the number 14, think of Jake and all the men and women on our roads to keep us safe. No one should have to suffer this lifemare that I live every second of the day. Jake would have been 32 years old last week. Thank you.
Again, just what a great, really example of strength. And I can't thank you enough for being here and all that you've done and continue to do. I do want to have our town supervisor, Ed Lachterman, come up and say a few words as well. Supervisor.
It's easy to do things when you don't have adversity, but what Kelly's doing right now, and not only Kelly, our entire highway department and our workers and our staff to not only keep Jake's memory alive, but to try to ensure this does not happen again. Uh, it's been said before: selfish drivers, people who speed through work zones, speed through our streets without any regard for the people around. Um, it's tragic that it comes down to a just just that much selfishness. Um, but I'll also speak about something because in this case we had a confused driver, and it's not necessarily age. So I don't think it's age restrictions, but we need to be aware of those that are driving, that are confused. Someone stepping on the gas instead of a brake. Uh, that's a problem. After this happened, my wife and I took a really hard look at our mother-in-law, and guess what we did? We pulled her license. We got rid of her car. It's You need to look at the people around you. Make sure that they are capable, safe, because it's not just them. It's not just your family that could be involved in this. And we've learned that lesson well. And with someone as loved as Jake is to fill this room and to have all these people here, uh, it's tragic that he's taken away. Uh, but there's a shining light as he looks down and helps us to move forward and make our town and our state a safer place to work in. So, Jake, I know you're watching. May God hold you close, and thank you for your guidance here.
I'm also working with senior centers with Matt and Pete here to go to educate more and to come up with some incentives for elderly people that are driving that don't get and don't have rides and no one to help them out. So we're also working with that too.
We appreciate that. Can I have our Highway Superintendent, Dave Paganelli, say a few words?
Thank you. So, some people are with us for only a short time, yet the mark they leave on our lives lasts a lifetime. Jake was one such person. Jake filled whatever room or whatever work area he was in with happiness and joy. He was a great person. That's the best that can be said of any of us when we're gone. And I'm very grateful for Matt, Assemblyman Slater, Senator Harcum, Kelly, to the work that they have put into this, and to memorialize Jake by dedicating a section of road to him so that all of us in the workforce can continue to pay respects to him, and especially thank Jake for making such an indelible mark in our lives when he was with us. Thank you.
And as I said earlier, you're joined by a number of CSEA members, CSEA leaders. I know we have some Teamsters here as well. And so we appreciate your support. And I do want to have the acting regional director, Rose Kukis, if I said that correctly? Kukis. And then we also have Rich Bebo say a few words as well. But Rose, if you wouldn't mind, thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank you. I'm Rosemary Kukis. I'm the acting Region 3 CSCA president. We are the union that proudly represents men and women of the town of Yorktown. I appreciate the invitation from Jake's mother to attend this ceremony to speak. One thing that really struck me is her imploring CSCA to continue to advocate and prioritize work zone safety. Every single worker deserves to go home at the end of every day. Increasing work zone safety remains a top issue for CSEA, whether that be accomplished through higher fines for speeding in a work zone, increased points for failing to abide by the move over law, or expanding the number of work zone cameras so we have more eyes on the unsafe drivers. I commit to you that CSEA will not stop fighting to accomplish these, because one incident like this is one too many. We appreciate the work of Assemblyman Matt Slater and Senator Pete Harcum in getting the stretch of roadway renamed for our fallen brother, Jake, and pledge that we will serve as an inspiration to protect every worker in CSEA. Thank you.
And to that end, by the way, one of the bills that Senator Harkman and I have does allow for local municipalities to opt into that work zone camera program, which is something that I know that we've spoken with CSEA about. But I also want to invite CSEA's Executive Vice President for the entire state of New York, who's here today. And so it's great to have Rich Bebo with us. Rich, please come and say a few words.
So first of all, I'm honored to be able to stand in front of you today for this dedication. Kelly, thank you so much for allowing me to do this. But I stand here, I am this executive vice president for CSEA, but I've also been a DOT employee since 1999. Now, granted, I work on the administrative side, but I have been to way too many memorials in my career, and it never gets easier. Unfortunately, I've never met Jake, but again, as Kelly said, I know we can say that they sign on for this, but it's just so unfortunate that people cannot just take their time, right? And I love the fact that we addressed, maybe talking to the seniors and making sure that we're auditing, right, their abilities to drive. But what I would also suggest is when you are teaching your children, right, when they're getting their permits, making sure that they understand what those work zones are, what those orange signs means. Take them through them, get them used to, decreasing down to 55 miles an hour. No matter what the case may be, no matter what job you take on, you should be expected to come home to your family. I am so heartbroken. I have a 32-year-old daughter. And Kelly, I could not imagine getting that phone call. And again, I'm glad, Assemblyman Slater, you brought up awareness, because as much as we want to celebrate Jake, there has to be a follow-up, right? This can't end here. We have to make sure we in this room, all of you that had a special relationship with Jake, use that as your motivation, your encouragement to reach out to people, to let them know, pass the messages that you're hearing today onto your communities, onto your families, onto your friends. It is happening. It has happened, and it's still happening way too much. We must communicate. We must care for each other so that when we are in those work zones, we are caring about the people that are working in there and not worried about getting to any destination that we have to get to as quickly as we try to. I hope and I pray that I never have to address a crowd in this manner again. That is my optimism. That is my hope, but I can't do it alone. It has to be all of us. So again, Kelly, I am so sorry for your loss, but this is a great dedication. Jake looks like a wonderful man, and I'm sure he deserved it. And thank you again so much for having me, okay?
I think in conclusion, again, I want to thank everyone for coming out here. And as Rich just said, strength in numbers. We're seeing it right here in our own town boardroom. But I think it's our mission to increase those numbers outside. And that's what this sign is going to do, to remember our fallen brother, but also make sure that people understand the importance of work zone safety all across New York State. Again, I really want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank Supervisor Lachman for allowing us to use the town hall to host this important ceremony. A good thank you to my good friend, Senator Harcum,
And to you as well.
and Kelly. Again, our hearts are broken, but we appreciate all your strength and all you've done for not just our community, but the entire state of New York, because you're on a mission, and we're going to support you all the way through. So thank you very much.
Also, I'd like to say that's a Republican and Democrat working together.
It happens. It happens.
It does happen. It is.
And with that, I want to invite you all to join us. We're going to go take a little walk. I want to thank the Yorktown Police Department for their help in making this happen. But we're going to go right outside. The sign is right over here. You'll see what the police squad car right outside there, and we will unveil the first of two signs. There's this sign here, and then Old Country Way, 118 and Old Country Way has the second sign as well, and that will officially dedicate this important highway in memory of Jake. So thank you all so much for
All
coming.
right, we'll see you out there.